Hi, everybody. It's episode 124, and Will's here. Thank you, Will. He braved the Canadian North to show up to this live. Hopefully, chat's popping. Some of the regulars are here, some new people. Thank you. I know it's like a weird time of day, as always, for most people, but I like it because then I don't compete with anybody else and I can still ship snakes, like Monday through Wednesday. All right. Let's do sponsors. VetDNA.com for all of your testing needs. Use code #SHITHAPPENS for $5 off the crypto panel. And you can use Pack 10 for any other test, basically. If you want to test it for Nido or Arena or whatever you want, VetDNA.com. And then for the sponsors, oh my God, I got to go to my sheet. They're always changing. Shane Kelley, Small Town Exotics, has a morph market auction up for his GHI red stripe yellow belly clown. I don't know if people are in auctions. Will, have you done auctions yet?
I have not participated in them. I've been watching them though.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So this is a steal of a deal. So go bid on this animal, the GHI red stripe yellow belly fire clown, proven breeder. He's little, but he's proven. That's all that really counts. Small Town Exotics. Bravo Zulu. She did a show last weekend. I forgot to ask her the show update. But they're raising money for her husband's study abroad in Morocco. She's a breeder of ball pythons, including lots of puzzle ball pythons. So hopefully she will like this episode. Oh no, it doesn't work. The pictures. And she's getting into house snakes. That's really cool. Thank you, Bravo Zulu Ball Pythons. Stoneage Ball Pythons. I also messaged him to see how the Portland show was. Didn't hear back yet, but he'll be doing Pack Wars on January 27th and 28th. And so will Andrew of Powerhouse Pythons. He's a breeder of ball pythons, leopard geckos, rodents, and he sells Go for Cocoa. His husbandry pro is still up, so check him out. Gray Family Snakes. I did get a message from Lori. They did do a price drop on some of their triple het VPI Xanthic pied stuff. So if you want to go over their morph market, you can browse around and see if the price is now right for you. Then Chris at BS Reptilia, he's still doing the 25% off sale for anybody who mentions the podcast. He still hasn't updated his morph market. I'm just going to spank him. I'm just going to bend him over my knee and spank him because I don't know how anybody's going to buy anything 25% off if they can't see it. But I will tell you what he hypothetically has. Longicauda, Depe Jani, other Pituophis, probably some bloods, and probably some ball python morphs because he's a man of many talents. That's Chris at BNS Reptilia. And that was maybe my most succinct sponsor spot. So I deserve a prize. Look, Matt's here. Thanks, Matt. Lisa's here. Bods is here. Thanks for coming. And also Will's here. Will, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
What's the temperature up there right now?
It's not too bad today. Here, I can tell you right now, actually. Here, look at my phone.
Can I guess? -2 Celsius.
You're real close. -4. -4. So you're what? That's like 28 Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not too bad. Although this week's going to get cold. Saturday's a cold one. It's going to be, our high is -11 and our low is -28.
Are your buildings well insulated enough that it doesn't matter, or do they like struggle a little bit?
No, not even a little bit. In fact, my adult building, I run no supplemental heat in the building at all.
Oh, because there's enough coming off of the racks.
Yeah,
that's good insulation.
I actually have to cool it even in February. So
what's the R value on the insulation you put in?
We did insulated concrete forms. So basically, it's like 2 inches of styrofoam on either side. Then they pour the wall, and it's a solid concrete wall through the whole building. So the beauty about that system is once the concrete warms up to temperature, then it's like radiant heat. It's always giving off heat. It takes so long for it to cool off.
So it has like thermal inertia, which is cool.
Yeah, similar concept. You know, you go out at night, you know, in the middle of summer, and you go out at, you know, 1 in the morning, and you step on a pool patio, and the stone's still warm on your feet. Same idea.
So you cool it with like a mini split? I don't know why we're getting into your building, but I am. Sorry.
Yeah, mini split. Both buildings. The hatchling building is heated. There's just not enough thermal mass in there. So it's heated, but it stays right at 80, no problem. We put 4 inches of foam on the outside of that building, and then 3 inches of spray foam on the interior studs. So pretty well insulated. Yeah.
Awesome. Lisa wants to know which province in Canada.
I'm in Ontario. Yeah, in the frozen north. Yeah.
It's not as bad as like the middle, right? Because it's like protected by water.
Guys out west are getting killed with cold. Like I'm an East Coast guy, man. I can't deal with those West Coast temperatures.
Oh, all right. Thomas is here and Lindsay's here. Yeah, catch it on the replay. It'll be long. Ish, probably. It's all right. All right. We're talking about puzzle. How long have you worked with puzzle? When did you import it into Canada? I guess to get like
I got my first puzzles. I believe it would be 2010.
So you're I'm gonna call you expert. What do you think about that?
I guess I don't know. I don't feel like it, but
okay. I'm gonna do it. All right. And then just like as a precursor to everybody who's watched this later and has weird thoughts, don't have weird thoughts. Will's a good person. He's very wholesome. If he says that your morph is a C or D tier, it's not because it's that bad. It's still a cool snake, right? So if you want to work it and love it and convince Will with cool YouTube videos that is actually like the direction for the puzzle project, you don't need to hate. Like, there's always like people are like, oh, you hate my morph. It's not about that. It's more about like what's the vibe check right now? It's okay. Sure. Yeah. Sure. We're having fun. All right. First vibe check, just plain puzzle. And
okay, so our tiers are what?
So S tier would be like everyone should buy one. It's perfect
for really, really, really top tier stuff.
Yeah, and then middle of the road, like it's pretty good breeder, but maybe it has some pairings you wouldn't want to put it in. And C and D tier are like, maybe it deserves, it's not that aesthetically pleasing. Maybe you would breed a female, but not a male. I don't know. So you can just divide it any way you want in your mind.
Okay. Okay. So I think of a straight puzzle for myself. As a single gene puzzle doesn't really jump out at me. It's not like it's like when we really look at like a base morph, it's not necessarily like it's like a banana, right? That's something, or like an ultra. They're like super visual, super good looking right out of the gate, where the puzzle requires a little bit more work to really get it there. So I'm going to put a single gene puzzle in a C tier.
Okay, perfect. Right. In some ways, a normal person could look at that. Like a normal human, the grandma check would be like, that's just another ball python, not even a morph, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. The OG pastel puzzle.
Pastel puzzle. Ooh, man. I got to put that one into the B tier. I love the pastel puzzles. Pastel and puzzle just work.
Right. What's cool about them is it's because they're not clown. No offense, clown. It doesn't do as bad as an adult.
No, they do significantly better as adults. Like significantly better. I've got a lot of they got a bunch of pastel puzzle combos that I've hatched and raised to adults, and when you compare them to the equivalent counterpart in clown, like the same, like just a pastel clown versus a pastel puzzle, the pastel puzzle seems to be like about 30% brighter than a pastel clown is as an adult. It doesn't get nearly as browned out. There's still a lot more yellow. They still brown out, but yeah,
not as bad. And then like you can also like include this, like because most puzzles are pastel puzzle, maybe that is a negative point. Like
I mean, I guess
saturation is.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the potential of it? Are we talking about the way it looks?
Whatever you want to talk about.
That's
the beauty of it.
there's so many variables here. It's
a vibe check to me. So it has to be all of it. Like, and in some ways, like the ones where we haven't seen enough combos, it has to be just potential because we don't know beyond what the one we hit are.
Lots of stuff is that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you sticking with B tier?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in B. Yeah.
All right, good, perfect. I love it. Spider puzzle.
D.
D tier. Is it just too reducing? Is that the problem?
It's just it has a neurological condition that, I don't want to. I just visually, I think they're cool. Visually, I'd put them in like that C tier, but just the fact that I have to work around Spider with that in there, it's just unfortunately, it's gonna go D.
D tier. Lesser butter.
Go that one with a C tier as well.
I'm on spot nose, but
spot nose. Ooh,
right. Let's do lesser first.
So that's supposed to be lesser spot nose.
Yeah, I brought up the wrong picture. I got the wrong link. But think about just the lesser puzzle.
Lesser puzzles. Yeah, I'm gonna put them straight lesser puzzles. I'm gonna go B tier with those. I like the Mojaves personally more. So I'm much more on the Mojave side of things than the butter and lesser side of things. But lesser puzzle, I'll go B tier.
Yeah, I got the right picture. I just got the wrong link. But the next one, I like how smooth they are. Like all the bell complexes do it, but lesser and Mojave are quite smooth.
Yeah.
Pin puzzle. Is it too reducing?
C tier. It's just it's hard to give it much more than that. But now again, I did see a jigsaw puzzle, which is a Mojave pinstripe puzzle, which I thought was really, really cool looking. I
was gonna do combos, but then I was like, there's already too many combos that exist.
But the straight pin puzzle, like if I have to explain to somebody what makes this different from a pinstripe, it's tough,
Yeah. Well, that's so like pin is hard, but if you put like spreading type genes in it, it actually helps to accent them, like a jigsaw puzzle or a jigsaw clown, or like the GHI Mojave pin clown.
And I bet you start to see, you start to put you put a hurricane and spot nose into this combo, and it could easily go into S tier. But as it stands, just a pin puzzle in between D and C tier, kind of on the line there.
I'll show it. I think this is awesome.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this in B or potentially A tier. I think there's a lot of potential there. It's got like a dotting down the back, almost like a tri-stripe type of look. Like this is, I think this is really cool. But that's just
right. But are there enough forms
of gene and
is there enough forms that pinstripe can take with puzzle that will look this cool, or is it kind of limited?
We don't know. I imagine it's going to be just as versatile as anything else. So I don't see a reason why spot nose pin puzzle or red stripe black pastel pin puzzle doesn't start to break stuff up and change the pattern.
So where do we put pin puzzle?
Let's go. Pin puzzle.
Just pin puzzle.
C tier. It doesn't have a neuro issue or anything, so that's okay. Yeah, let's go C.
All right, perfect. Do you find pin het puzzles are harder to sell, or pin double het DG puzzles because they're worried about
I think pin het anything is harder to sell.
Okay, good.
It's not just puzzle, just pretty much across the board. Pin, pastel, spider, lesser, the stuff that's been around for 30 years, People are into new stuff. It's what we want. We want to make new stuff, not stuff that we've seen 100 times.
That's right. Yeah. All right. This is one of my favorites. Calico puzzle. A tier.
Yeah. That was cool. That's a really good example too.
Yeah. What's cool about it is it's going to be, there's a pattern modification and the white. Yeah. So you're going to be able to combo in different ways than you would with anything else necessarily. And also for everybody in chat, I I didn't get asked for permission for these pictures, but I did link all of them below. And so if you're like, man, is that for sale? I tried to pick ones that were for sale. So this is free promotion. Please don't sue me. If you want to know where these pictures come from, or if you can message them to buy one. I saw this in person in Arlington, and I thought it was great looking, very fun, and it'll just get better.
And tons of combo potential there. Like just endless combo potential there.
All right, here's a question.
Yep.
Like a little side quest. If it clowns, will it puzzle? Do you agree with that statement?
No.
Okay. Why?
Because they're completely different genes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have this the market compares everything to clown.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, clown's top dog. There's no question. I love clown. I have tons of clown in my collection. I always will. But we do this thing where we go like, okay, what is it? If it works in clown, it'll work over here. And I think that's a really kind of naive way to think. We don't get to control what happens with these genes. We just get to make the combination and see what result we get. But if we look at clown, it's a genetic back black animal. And puzzle is not that. Puzzle is not a genetic back black. Puzzle is a significantly, it's way different, actually. It's more of a banded animal than anything.
All right, well, if it will cryptic, will it puzzle?
Likely. They're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
At first, to be honest, I thought they were the same thing for a while. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, I don't know. Like I was hatching Kryptons and Cryptics and then hatching similar puzzle combos and was like, these are just different. And now we know they're quite different. But yeah, I think you get similar looks.
Do you look, like, 'cause people are going to Pompeii puzzle, right? So they're going to look for inspiration in clown. And when I see the Krypton puzzle, the Krypton Pompeii, it wasn't as fun. It was fine. It was like fine, right?
Sure.
But I don't think it's going to be as dramatic. So that's why I'm like, I'm assuming people are looking to Kryptons for it, but then some inspiration on clown combos. But you don't think they'll always translate over?
Oh,
perfectly.
They definitely don't. They definitely don't. I've made a handful of stuff now in Krypton and in puzzle, and some of them are entirely different. Like I've made cinnamon Kryptons, Mojave spot nose Kryptons. I made a orange dream yellow belly fire spot nose Krypton. And while they're awesome in their own right, the counterpart puzzle combos, a lot of them are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Worse, better, or different, or both?
I wouldn't say better or worse, just different.
Okay. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, I think they are too. I think. Yeah. Okay.
Some of them would be worse. So it's just, I guess it just, and again, this is better or worse at what?
Right.
Better or worse breeders, better or worse potential, better or worse looking. I mean, that's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very.
Yeah.
Do you think someone who's heavily cryptic invested should get a puzzle? If they know they can make a very similar phenotype with cryptic already? This is something that's kind of come up before. Because sometimes puzzles are different than cryptics for the same combo. Because
very often they are.
Yeah, because puzzles are more, sometimes will be blockier.
Yep.
And cryptics are very, very much a predominantly banded animal. So like the ability to be blocky is distinct, but sometimes they're kind of similar.
They can be. For sure they can be. I mean, I suppose same question poses like if you have Ultramel, should you have Monarch? If you have, I don't know.
It's just your opinion time. It's okay. You don't.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, go puzzle. I mean, it's just what I like. I have a bunch of cryptic stuff. Doesn't excite me in the same way puzzle does.
Why do you feel like you feel that way? Or do
Cryptics I think the Kryptons are much more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're significantly, but they're more like clown in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say clown's predictable, but it's I mean, at this point, it kind of is. There are always exceptions where you're like, wow, what the hell? Like, I didn't expect that to happen at all.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see many Krypton combos where I've been like, what the fuck is that? I just saw, that's a Krypton. I can see what it is, and I can pretty well as a general rule, guess what's in it too.
Mm-hmm.
I've hatched lots of Kryptons, lots. And in fact, I was hatching Kryptons before we were calling them Kryptons. I was calling them faux clowns at the time. I was like, I was breeding desert ghost combos to clowns and making these faux clowns. And I've made the same combos now, like pastel leopard Kryptons versus pastel leopard puzzles. And I would choose the puzzle personally, the puzzle over the Krypton, right? Currently.
All right. Lisa asked about it, so we'll skip the order. Inchy. This is an example where like the Inchy Krypton, I think, looks more different than the Inchy puzzle.
Inchy puzzle, yeah. So as it stands, I'm gonna give it a B tier. However, with the potential of that animal, I would give Inchy puzzles an A tier with potential.
All right, we can do that.
Looks, I mean, yeah, it's Inchy puzzles, an Inchy puzzle. The one thing I'll say with what I've noticed, especially with puzzle, is puzzle really, really starts to shine as you start to layer stuff onto it. Individual genes in puzzle, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you can see it. Spot nose puzzle, it's not like this crazy departure. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's a spot nose puzzle. But the second you put spot nose, yellow belly, Inchy puzzle, like, whoa, what the heck? Now we've got an entirely different look. And that's that kind of, I guess, with potential. I give Inchy puzzles an A tier with potential, B tier for looks.
All right. I think I stuck it in B. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine.
None of this matters. This part doesn't really matter. But it's like, I don't know. Like if someone had $3,000 to throw down, taking all sentiments together, what should they buy today, right? Like based on all the feelings you have. I guess that's sort of what this sort of boils down to.
If somebody had $3,000 today, I get these
like, weird questions.
Yeah, it totally it's so like it's so situational. If they have a giant clown collection, I'd say continue working on your clown collection. If you're interested in working with a new project that has a crazy great big upside, jump into puzzle, tri-stripe, zebra, monsoon. I mean, really, I try to encourage people to work with what they like, because if we're just chasing, oh, I have $3,000, I need to make my money back. I mean, there's better ways to do that. Don't buy a ball python.
Yeah, I guess like the answer is like, if you had 0 snakes and you're like, what is the thing, knowing everything I know now with 0 snakes, I would want to buy? It's right this second, based on the chart, it's Calico puzzle. Like that's the most feeling. Yeah, but obviously you would want a yellow belly puzzle to combo it with, and a spot nose, and you know, like you would want to put it together. But that's sort of like the vibe.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Red stripe puzzle. I didn't mean to pick a less fortunate example. I think there's better examples, but this one's okay. And I wanted to get one that was for sale so people could buy it hypothetically.
Okay.
What do you think about red stripe?
That specific one or red stripe puzzle in general?
Just in general.
A tier.
A tier.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it A tier?
I've seen what it can do. I've made a few of them now, and I've seen some straight red stripe puzzles. I've made a firefly red stripe puzzle. I think I have a spot nose red stripe puzzle, and I like the look of them.
Do you like? Have you seen Garrick Demeyer's Calico Yellow Belly Spot Nose Clowns?
Yes, I have. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they can act like red stripe. Calico can. What do you think about that?
Calico can act like red stripe?
Mm-hmm. In combos, because it can open up and add color.
I suppose, but then we can always put Calico and red stripe together. So
that's true. You can. It makes a better, like, you know, campfire.
Oh yeah, Calico's no joke. Calico's a gene that I have not worked a ton with, but over the past couple of years, I've added quite a bit of Calico. Actually, from Matt, I grabbed a Odie Fire Calico Hypo female, And that's going to puzzle for sure. So
it's gonna be awesome. All right, where was Red Stripe?
I'm gonna give it. Let's put it at B. Let's put it in B tier.
Okay, perfect.
Potential wise, I think that's S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like kind of under. To me, Red Stripe is often underwhelming, but that's me, not you. This is your tier list. All right, Spot Nose Puzzle.
This one or Spot Nose Puzzle?
Just in general, yeah.
A tier.
A tier.
Yeah.
I think the potential is huge. Like the upside.
Potential is S tier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I'm just starting to crack into potential of Spot Nose Puzzle, and it's good. I've had a few things I haven't really posted yet. Some guys in the Patreon have seen them, but yeah, they're really dope.
Yeah, like it's almost like Spot Nose and Cypress are like spreaders. Like they'll open pattern, and Yellow Belly adds color, but then you need like another color adder to like double it up in any combo. But you would know that. Yellow Belly
Puzzle, looks wise, B tier, potential S tier.
Do you want it to go in A tier as a balance?
Yeah, sure. You can put it in A tier. I mean, let's leave Yellow Belly in B tier and save A tier for your asphalt, gravels, specters.
Okay.
The real stuff.
Has anybody hit like a super specter puzzle or super gravel, super asphalt?
I don't think anything like that. I have an Enchy asphalt puzzle mail. And yeah, I don't have them yet, but I've seen lots of pictures of them, and it looks fantastic. And this is what I mean, like where I say like Enchy on its own, not so great. The second you put something else into it, like okay, the oranges, the blushing, all that stuff starts to pop.
Rectifari asks, have you seen a white lace puzzle?
I do not believe it's been made. I've made lace puzzles, and we should see. I have a shot with white lace puzzle this year. I mean, it's longish odds, so we'll see. It's head to head. Unfortunately, the lace puzzles I made, unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, were all females. So, I won't be complaining.
Have you posted a picture of a lace puzzle? I was looking.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it. All right, I don't have a picture, but what would you put lace puzzle at right now?
Looks wise, B, potential, definitely S.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like maybe like an A-ish.
I mean, it's a lace clown. Like on its own, it's okay. White lace clown, holy shit.
Right.
Like lace on its own is not like this gene that I'm like, holy, I have to put this in everything. But once you start to combo it up, that's where it really starts to shine. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the case with a lot of stuff, right? Like Spot Nose on its own, it's like, pass. But then you put it in, pretty much everything else, and it's like, holy crap, this thing really works.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true for most morphs, but I think some of them, if you added 10 genes to a spider puzzle, it's still going to look like a spider puzzle. It just will be maybe brighter or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, fire puzzle.
B tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like reducing.
It is. Yep.
Okay. Have you seen like? I've seen some combos, and I think they're like nice looking, but I haven't seen like an ultra reactive version of it yet. Like the fire GHI tri-stripe. It's like crazy looking. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping like a dark gene plus fire will lose its mind a little bit better.
Fire puzzle. I made a Spot Nose fire puzzle this year. Looks pretty good.
Okay.
I've got OD Firefly puzzles. I mean, again, all this stuff. All this stuff is just kind of like the stepping stones. So I have to really look at it as like I have to really rate these with like potential in mind, because
that's okay. We love that. Yeah, that's why we do like the single gene mostly, because like there's a combo for every single gene out there that will make it shine for sure.
Right.
But all right, cool. Oh, there's the butter. We did that one. Mojave
puzzle, man. I love
my
Mojave.
favorite.
This one's a lot busier than the ones I've produced. But I'm gonna put Mojave Puzzle in A tier. I think
Awesome.
I think it's got tons of potential. And this is what I love about Puzzle is that like Mojave would never be considered A tier in Clown. But in Puzzle,
Right.
it has that potential. I think that's what I love about it. There's like other genes that we've kind of like discarded. When you put it back into Puzzle, it's like, oh, holy shit, we have this entire new opportunity to work with these.
Right, and because Puzzle doesn't get as light, like the Mojave Clown gets so light and boring when it grows up. It's like really sad because I like dark Mojave, GHI, whatever combo clowns. I like them a lot, but they get, desaturated really bad. So this is exciting. That's why I like Mojave Tri-Stripe. It's probably my favorite single gene
That
Tri-Stripe.
Mojave Hypo Tri-Stripe was phenomenal.
Love it. All right, Bamboozle.
C tier.
Is it too strong? Bamboo?
It's just too faded. It goes like a tan color. It's I could see the potential with it. I personally am this is just my opinion. Someone's gonna make a bamboo puzzle that I'm like, holy shit, I have to have this. But I don't have any bamboo in my collection at all. So it's just not a gene I'm a huge fan of personally.
I think it's gonna. So I agree. Sometimes they get really, really dark, like points on their nose. Like if it's like a chocolate mahogany bamboo clown, and it looks like a Siamese cat. So I feel like you could sell them all day for $500 to like pet people because it's such a distinct like cute factor. But otherwise, I have no idea what to do with them. Where's Bamboo Fall? Bamboo Puzzle.
C tier.
C tier. Perfect. Banana. And I know how you feel about banana.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C tier. I'm just not a banana guy. Not at all.
Yeah, it's like the banana color puzzle pattern. Like it's nothing surprising, but I think
it's exactly what you should expect with it. Yeah,
there's nothing like additive. So C tier.
Yep.
Perfect. OD puzzle.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into some. This looks wise B tier, potential A tier. I mean, this is just an Orange Dream, right? This is one copy of Orange Dream. This is very, very, very rudimentary puzzle combo, but the potential with the Orange Dream puzzle is endless. Aussie's just starting to get into like we're starting to see super OD puzzle combos. It's just like holy shit.
They're really beautiful, but are they too reduced? Like, is the essential puzzle taken away too much on some of them?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay,
because we can add stuff that'll bring it back. Like, give me a super Orange Dream Hurricane Spot Nose puzzle. I'll take it any day of the week. I think that you can add pattern genes to bring pattern back. I guess it really depends on what you like. But if you go to Aussie's Instagram, he's posted some super OD puzzles that like I don't care how reduced they are. I love them. Like I've called him on some of them, but like, dude, I gotta have one. And he's like, no, not this one. I'm keeping it. Like I get it.
Yeah, I like this better than the clown OD. Let me just put it that way. To me, there's more to do.
Probably the most misidentified clown combo out there. OD clown looks like a clown. Like half the time I hatched them, I'm like, I don't know.
Right. All right.
So
A or B?
Let's go A.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I like them when they're all comboed out. Like a super OD Mojave spot nose is going to be cool, and it won't fade out and be weird. So all of that's cool, but we just got to get there. Oh, I'm on your Instagram. Blackhead puzzle.
Blackhead puzzle. Oh, this one. On its own, B tier. Potential, I think A or I'm gonna leave it with A tier for potential. Looks B tier. I just fed her. She's probably 1,400 grams right now, and she looks a lot better with some size on her.
You should put a picture if you have time on Instagram. I'll reshare.
I got a lot of stuff I need to. Yeah. I like honestly, I do this all the time. I post one picture of it and then never again until it's like on eggs or something.
Right. I want to know what her sides look like.
It's like all chained. The whole side's all chained.
Right. That's like my favorite part of a good puzzle is like side chaining, not necessarily like a puzzly back, but like the float, which we'll get into with Cinnamon here in a second.
Yeah.
All right. Where do we go?
Looks wise, B tier.
All right. I love this one. It's
Yeah,
a bongo puzzle.
That's Joel's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. A tier for that for sure.
God, it's so good. Like the burned out spots and a good float and good stripe and pretty square on top. It's good. A tier.
Yeah.
Do you think the go ahead?
I want to save S tier for stuff that's like.
You can say S tier for one of them. You're almost out at this point.
I can't think of any single gene plus recessive combo that I would put in A tier. Clown, Desert Ghost, nothing. It's all the combos have to be. For me, it has to be like your DG puzzles, your hypo puzzles, your DG hypo puzzles, DG Xanthic puzzles. Those are your S tier puzzle combos.
Right, but it's all relative, right? So like we're just comparing one homozygous recessive plus one copy of a.
Right, you're gonna have a hard time for me to give an S tier on anything.
That bongo like puzzle will get my S tier.
Like sunsets, monsoons, like they're all like you have to. For me, the S tier needs to be saved for really, really, really like incredible stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about GHI? Is that incredible?
GHI puzzle, yeah.
Yeah. A tier or S tier? What do you think?
A tier.
It's so good looking too.
It's amazing.
I know.
It's incredible. But
I love it.
It's A tier. S tier has to be for like now. You show me a bongo GHI puzzle. We might be an S tier. But
but that would be a different tier ranking list. It would be like the 2 gene tier ranking list, which I almost did, but I'm like, we're gonna run out of time because we could talk about this all day, right?
Yeah, man, S tier is gotta be reserved for the. You know what? Joel's my boy. Put the GHI puzzle.
Oh, thank you.
Joel's the man.
There you go. We got something up there.
There you go. I'll give you one.
Yeah, I think the darker genes that are less reducing are more fun, but that's like a personal bias.
Sure.
Of just what I like.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be really fun to have like an allelic combo, like spot nose blackhead, super OD puzzle or something like really fighting, really busy.
See, now you're talking like S tier type snakes.
All right. Well, you make them. I'll look at
I'm
them
working on it. We should see some this year, I hope, but who knows?
All right. Cinnamon puzzle.
Ooh, I like that chaining along the side. I'll give this.
It's so good. Like the blushy, floaty, outlined.
I think I was trying to make this as a DG puzzle this year, but I missed the odds. So yeah, let's go A tier.
All right. Matt was on Pro Cinnamon over Black Pastel and Tri-Stripe. What do you think? Do you prefer? It's not maybe it's the only one I can find on Morph Market, so it's not as floaty.
B tier. No, I'll give this specific one a C tier, but I think Black Pastel puzzle should look very, very similar to the cinnamon puzzle.
Do you think this is mis-ID'd?
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to see it. I'd have to know the pairing. I'd have to know a lot more about it.
So you think C tier? I mean, you don't have to base it on that one, but just in general.
Oh, Black Pastel and Cinny should be essentially the same thing.
They should be, but for some reason they're not.
Every combo is basically the same. But yeah, I'm with Matt. In the Tri-Stripe, I'm Cinny over Black Pastel. Well, I haven't seen many Black Pastel Tri-Stripe combos yet, but I've made a few cinnamons and I like them a lot. So,
where do you put this?
C.
Just C. Okay. Leopard.
These I love.
I love them too.
A tier.
A tier. Yeah, it's crazy how I don't know. Like leopards are too reducing in clown, but like add a lot of drama and puzzle and Tri-Stripe.
Pattern and puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Such drama. A tier.
Yeah.
Perfect. Confusion puzzle.
On its own, C tier. Potential A or S. But on its own, this is, it's just
I like that the like the flames become black.
Yeah.
Like, it's like super emo. It's gonna make a great BPI exam, like PG puzzle or something.
Hypo in there. Yeah, and that's what I love about one of the things I do love about puzzle is it adds a ton of contrast points, which is something that we can kind of struggle with in clown. Clown is known to blush out quite a bit. You know, you blush out the dorsal, you get a lot of the tear dropping, but it like blushes out. You don't getting rich, good blacks in clown is, I mean, we can figure out how to do it now, but for a while it was tough to do. And with puzzle, it feels like almost everything has good blacks, which is a great situation for, you know, your axanthics, your desert ghosts, your hypos, your ultramels, your monarchs, like even your lavenders, anything that has that like high level of contrast really, really works well with those type of things. So yeah, this one, C tier, potential wise, A or S tier.
You want to B tier it as like in the middle? It's your chart.
C tier.
Okay. If
we're looking at the look of it. I
mean, this is whatever it wants to be. We're just fucking talking about snakes on the internet, right?
Fair enough.
It literally doesn't matter. All right. I didn't find a picture, or I didn't grab a picture because obviously there are many morphs in the world. Do you want to comment on what you think? You have some, I think, Hurricane Trick Blitz puzzles.
I haven't made any visuals.
Okay.
I have hats for sure. I've seen, I think it was a trick puzzle, which essentially give me the same as the Hurricane. I would give that like a B or an A tier. I think combo wise, that has S tier potential for sure. But again, like we're single gene anything is not S tier. So we're at the stage in the market now where, you know, I'm looking towards Hurricane GHI Spot Nose DG Hypo puzzle. Like that's the direction like I want to go. Not if I make a Hurricane puzzle, I've missed the odds essentially.
Do you think, or I didn't see that example, but do you think the Hurricane Trick Blitz will, because all that's doing really, so it's like being a spreader, but it's also like adding more eye. But the eyes on puzzles are largely gone in most combos. So do you think it'll add eyes back?
So Tony Thomas has a.
Is it on his Instagram? I can look it up.
Probably is.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Tony has a. I think it's a trick. It might be a blitz, which is they're all the same shit. So it's very, very similar, and it's a cool looking animal. So yeah, I think that again, on its own, it's not this like super fantastic, crazy departure from puzzle. But once we start to put Spot Nose and Blackhead and Cypress and all the, you know, Wookiees, chocolates, all this type of stuff, we start to layer those on. I think that's like S tier potential with puzzle.
All right. Obviously, like not all puzzle combos have been made, but is there a single gene, it could be dominant or dominant, that you would like to see in puzzle ASAP because you think that's going to be game changing?
Single gene.
Right. I know like it's hard. It could be something rare or like mimic, which nobody even bought yet, or whatever you want. But is there something that you're excited about?
A single gene. See, I don't really know with a single gene. I would say, I don't know. That's a good question.
All right.
I can't think of one.
Like when Matt was on, I was like, Sapphire. That's what I want to see in Tri-Stripe. I just want to fucking, I want to know where it's like darker and it's complicated. I don't know. But you don't have to know. There are many choices in this world, right? All right. For some reason, Instagram looks like this. So we're going to have to ignore Tony right this second. I don't know what's going on. All right. Next, now we're doing doubles. This is very, very our most speculatively part. So it would be like potential, sentiment, whatever you want, right? Albino puzzle. Regular old albino.
B tier.
Why is it B tier for you?
Because we can use lavenders instead.
Have any lavenders been hit? I couldn't find one. I assumed they had.
Probably would just need a few lavender puzzles.
Okay. Where would you put lavender if I had a picture of it?
A tier.
Okay. What about, since we're on it, I don't have a picture, candy puzzle.
I'm going to put that probably in A tier as well. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Do you think people, it seems like people are almost like stuck in lavender. I don't know if you agree with this statement. Like they're already in lavender and they liked it and it was fine. And they recognize that candy/toffee is kind of more aesthetically pleasing, but they're already in. So they don't necessarily feel like adding candy. Do you think, and I know we talked about Monarch and Ultramel, and some people add it, some people switch.
So my problem with candy and toffee is that I love that like almost that like saturation that you get with lavender combos. You get like such crazy contrast. Now, and the toffee puzzles are going to stay that way as a baby, but as they get older, they almost transform into like a banana puzzle. That like they kind of wash out. They don't hold that contrast very well. Because yellow to white is more contrast to yellow than yellow to purple, right? So yeah, I would prefer to work with lavender than toffee.
Okay.
But either one, I mean, they're both cool. So this is 6-1, half a dozen the other. It's like
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why people get mad. They're like, you were mean to my project. Literally, it doesn't matter. Like, you can literally do any project you want, but it's just a vibe check. All right, we're back. Xanthic puzzle, and this one happens to be a VPI by Expressive Exotics, but in general, you can just pretend like any morph, any line, I guess, that you want to work with personally.
Yeah, so I'm gonna rate these ones based on potential.
Okay.
And that's gonna be S tier.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's an S. We did it.
Yeah.
Because of the what you were talking about earlier with the amount of black, hypothetically.
Wait till we start to get into like really like, this is just what a pastel xanthic puzzle. This is the start. This is the just the very, very beginning. We start to get into, like I said, confusion and hurricane and spot nose and red stripe and all this other stuff layered onto a xanthic puzzle. Yeah, you're into some pretty awesome stuff.
All right, I didn't make a thing, but Chris asked about rainbow puzzle. Do you think that will?
I think that's
fall where candy is, or
it's going to be in that albino family. So again, I would say rainbow. You're going to be that A tier likely, but I mean it could be S tier. It could be it could be incredible. It's hard to know.
Do you want to see Sapphire and Puzzle?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I know, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Cryptic puzzle.
So this one is I don't know if we know for a fact that any puzzle is a cryptic puzzle. That's something I would like to see proven out. I want somebody, we have a cryptic test. So I want somebody that has what they're calling a cryptic puzzle. I'll pay for the test to test it to be cryptic. Because I have puzzles that look like this. Just there's no cryptic in sight. So I am very I don't know on this cryptic puzzle. Has anybody taken a cryptic puzzle and put it to a clown and got kryptons?
I don't know, but
test can answer all these questions.
You're right. Somebody write in the comments later or write in the chat now if you've done it personally. I think some of them become so reduced that it's unclear to me if it's a cryptic or a puzzle or both. So then I don't know.
Where did the cryptic come from? I guess is my question. How did it start? How did it pop up in puzzle? I mean, it popped up in clown, and the only reason we knew it was there was because it was an allelic reaction. And so we were getting hets that looked really weird. So I would love to see somebody test what they're calling a cryptic puzzle. I could be completely wrong, and this could be it. And if this is the cryptic puzzle, C tier. But I have not yet been super convinced that that's what they are. I would really like to see somebody test them. And we have the test. So, I'd love to see some of the cryptic puzzles tested and proved to be het cryptic. But until then, I'm skeptical on that because I think puzzle is so widely polymorphic that, we could easily mistake oh, this looks a little different than what I've been hatching out. It must be cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I think that's kind of been sort of what's happening. Is my initial reaction to it, but because I've had lots of guys, I've hatched so many puzzles where people are commenting, "Oh, that's a cryptic puzzle." I'm like, no, dude, it's not. There's no cryptic in the pairing. There's no cryptic known in parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Do you think they're just like looking at like the amount of eye stripe or whatever and being like, a lot of it is gone and it's a little bit more banded, so therefore it's a cryptic puzzle? Or do you think?
Well, I can show you examples of puzzles that like single gene puzzles that have almost no eye stripe, and then other ones that have almost a normal head. So it's, I think puzzle is so polymorphic that it's you can hatch 7 leopard puzzles and 7 out of 7 look different.
Dark Cloud Reptile says Chimera thinks Weirdo may be cryptic, and they gave RGI a Weirdo puzzle to see if that is true.
I would be really shocked to see that come back, that case. I think that I don't think that's good, because Weirdo is an incomplete dominant, or a dominant that we know of. You can take Weirdo, breed it to something else, make Weirdo with no other copies of Weirdo. I can take a pastel Weirdo and breed it to a yellow belly and make a pastel yellow belly Weirdo. I shouldn't be able to do that with a cryptic because it would make heads. So yeah, I'd be surprised if that's the case, but who knows? Like, I get surprised by this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then side quest question, since it is polygenic, do you have a preferred base puzzle type? Do you like the square ones or the ones where it's like striped and connected, or the more reduced ones?
I really like them all. I think you can probably line breed it to get the look that you want in relative to the combo that you're trying to produce, right? I mean, that's kind of the beauty about it, is like you can go with a blocky puzzle, you can go with a reduced one, you can go with a striped one, and each one has a strength or a weakness depending on what you're trying to accomplish with it.
Do you think you've identified what like wild type phenotype begets which puzzle phenotype? Like, is it like a really natural blackback animal that begets the connecty stripe ones, or
no? Not from what I've seen. Okay. I mean, I haven't done all that much work with base puzzle stuff though, right? Like my focus has always been to combo it up and put more stuff into it. So, but I hatched some that are wildly striped. Like I hatched one recently that is just, it's got like 5 separate stripes down its back. And
that's probably cool.
It's very cool. It's a really neat animal. Yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't bothered to like try and line breed.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't what I meant, but like sometimes, I don't know, blade or something that is a pattern reducer will fucking ruin a clown combo, right? Or it'll just take like that like extra 10% of oomph off of it. So like I like to buy clowns that don't, in certain projects, that don't look like they have polygenic influences, or hypothetically blade, if you believe blade's polygenic or not, which is now apparently a debate again, for those projects, because I know they will look significantly different because of them. So like if you were to buy a bunch of puzzle heads and you really preferred like the square body plan, maybe what?
I guess it really depends on what the parents were like, right? Like that's going to come into it with the hat. But I've seen puzzles just be so variable. Like it's not that. I've hatched blocky puzzles and stripe puzzles within the same
clutch.
Yeah.
Well, that's good info to know. You just got to buy what you like then and hope you hit.
I think if you start to take the puzzles that are blocky and start to breed back to stuff that is blocky, you're going to start to make much more blocky type puzzles. Yeah. But I love the variability that comes with it. It's fun. It keeps you on your toes though, because it can make IDing a little bit tricky. Yeah. Like, why are these so different? Like, these are completely different looking animals, but they're just both spot nose puzzles. You know, it's, yeah.
Do you think other things like, I don't know, blade or reducers or stuff like that change puzzle enough that you would want to even know about it? Or have you bred in such a way that you would
I haven't really
noticed that yet?
blade puzzles that I can think of. Dark Cloud's in here. Randy's made a bunch of puzzle stuff. I don't know if he's done any blade puzzles, but yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd like to. I mean, at the end of the day, like I want to see it all, right? So I love hatching something, and maybe it's not exactly what you would expect or what you would hope for, but you can get some information and apply that somewhere else with it. So it's do I want reduced puzzles? Not all of them, but I wouldn't mind some of them. But do I want stripe puzzles? Well, not all of them, but I want some of them. You know, it's yeah.
All right. Ultramel puzzle.
Woo. A tier. It's got a lot of potential. I'll give the Monarch S.
Do you like Monarch better?
I personally do, yeah.
I just haven't. I guess I have seen them in person. They look fine or whatever. Like they're good. I like that there's more contrast, but I just don't know if I care enough to go buy Monarch at that price point. Does that make me a bad person?
Okay, that's a totally different question. That's a totally different.
Like if they were the exact same price, I also would probably pick Monarch, I guess. Right. But I'm not that worried about it yet.
I'm not worried about either one. I have very, very limited in either. I have one Het Ultramel in my collection, and I have one Monarch in my collection. So T-positive stuff is not generally what I gravitate towards. I respect the fact that that's a really nice animal, and I think that for me when it comes to Monarch versus Ultramel, what I generally head towards is like high contrast. And that's why I love Desert Ghost so much. It gives you that really high contrast look. And the Monarchs are higher contrast than the Ultramels are. And that's just what that's what my eye goes towards.
Do you think the Mimic will, outcompete everything for like a hot flash in the pan second until the price comes down? Like, because when Banana came out, I wasn't in the hobby then, but Banana came out and everyone just like just gave up working on Ultramel stuff for a while because they were like, well, I can make a yellowy looking thing easier.
Sure. Do
you think people are smart enough not to throw all their work in the trash and chase Mimic?
I think if you have a big collection of Ultramel stuff, I don't think you're going to just get rid of it just to go to the Mimic. I think you'll incorporate Mimic, but I don't think you're going to get rid of Ultramel just because something else came out. That seems silly.
I mean, this market, these people are crazy. They all seem silly at this point. All right. So then let's do it. Desert Ghost.
Yeah, that's got to be S tier. I love Desert Ghost and I love puzzles, so put them together.
So here's my question about this specific animal.
Yeah.
See how it's like, I don't know, like hooked and
got like hieroglyphic type of pattern.
Yeah, is that a Desert Ghost pastel puzzle thing, or is that specific to this animal for polygenic reasons?
I've made other pastel DG puzzles, and it's seems to be just that animal. I mean, the other one I made was like very like the standard, very like blocky puzzle look.
Well, this is cool too in its own way.
Oh yeah, I love her. She should produce for me this year.
All right, good luck. Hopefully she makes lots of beautiful babies. Do you want to reveal what she's paired to?
She's being bred to a hypo double head DG puzzle.
Awesome. We love that. Is hypo DG your favorite like color palette changer right now? Or hypo DG's got to be up there. DJ's Anthic's incredible too, but it's the lack of color rather than the presence of color. Both really cool in their own right. S tier?
Oh yeah, DG puzzle, S tier.
Yeah. Perfect. I just like her in particular. Hypo puzzle.
S tier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a weird question. People are paying a lot for hypo puzzles nowadays, but are people going to like in their mind devalue it because it's just a hypo still, or are they figuring out the hypo is really cool looking and it's okay, it's a color changer, it can be expensive, it's fine? Have they figured it out?
Well, puzzles puzzles the doing the heavy lifting with the value there.
Right.
Right. Outside of that, hypos. I mean, but that's the case with a DG puzzle. That's the case with the Monarch, Ultramel puzzle. That's the case with all those puzzle combos. So I think that and hypo puzzle. I mean, Justin just showed a Orange Dream Yellow Belly hypo puzzle. It was incredible. Incredible. Wait till we get DG hypo puzzles going. It's going to be that's the one that I think is going to be just absolutely phenomenal.
All right, if you couldn't breed the triple and you had to pick DG puzzle or hypo puzzle, which one would you pick?
I don't have to pick. I can't breed triple. So I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to pick that. It's I'm able to.
It's just a thought experiment.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go. I guess it depends on what avenue you want to take it. Do you want to make it like you want to get really, really high contrast, like high saturation of oranges? Hypo. You want to get really, really like incredible contrast? Desert Ghost. So, like it's flip a coin. Both are incredible. I love them both, and I'm working very heavily with both. So, I don't really have to pick. I can breed them together.
Right. Well, that was what I wanted. Right. Like that's because there was such DG hype on like not maybe like truthfully, but it was like to the detriment of other morphs. Now I think it's like more fair, equitable, so people can also enjoy high-end hypo combos, and that's fine too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole thing where people were like, "Oh, don't buy hypos," that's crazy. That's ridiculous. You know, for a long time, I still to this day, if I have to pick a gene where it's like, if you make me like, this is the only one you can work with, you have to make combos that you want to work with, I'm going to go with Desert Ghost. I love that high contrast, super clean look. With that said, that's like making you pick, you can only eat one flavor of ice cream for the rest of your life. Like, I don't want that situation either.
That's what it felt like for like 2 years. Like,
that's just because this market is very, very flavor of the month. You know, I've been working with DG for as long as I've had puzzles. So I've liked DG right from the jump. Well, since I've known what it was. And I've liked hypo from the get-go. Hypo's made some of my first snakes. I think it was a pastel hypo Mojave, and she's absolutely stunning. You know, a hypo pastel Mojave is, in my opinion, nicer than a pastel Mojave Desert Ghost. But
I agree.
There's lots of Desert Ghost combos that I think are nicer than the hypo counterparts. So it's again, this really we're splitting hairs because it's they're both dope.
So this is your permission, everybody, to just work the projects that you like and that you believe in to whatever extent that you want. It's okay.
If you have DG and you have hypo, put them together though, because that's really where it's at. That's really that's the
Yeah, we're working on that. It takes time.
It does.
All right.
It sure does.
Spicy time. Spicy hot take time. Do you even think this is a puzzle clown? Because that is also okay. I think it is too. What do you think about puzzle clown in general?
I think, I don't really know what to think. I've made one that I'm sure of, 100% sure of. I made another one I have a shed out for testing just to double check. As of right now, Puzzle Clown's going to be a C tier snake. Potential wise, I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that we start to put the impactful genes that make clowns really cool, and you layer puzzle on there. I just can't see a situation where you don't get influence.
Do you think it'll look just like a wiggly combo clown?
Maybe.
Just forever?
Maybe.
All right, but you're still trying. I've never begrudged anybody for trying anything, right? But I just don't. I
mean, at the end of the day, what else do we do?
Right. I mean, that's
what are we doing, right?
That's our job, our hobby.
Yeah, our whole industry is trying to find some new cool stuff. And my whole philosophy with the Puzzle Clown has always been, even if it doesn't work, you head down a road where in the same clutch, you're making awesome clowns and awesome puzzles. And that's a win-win for me. So I'll take clutches of Hurricane Spot Nose puzzles and Hurricane Spot Nose clowns. You know, like in the same clutch. That's
right. It doesn't necessarily like hurt the project to have them exist.
Oh,
Like
no,
even if like the homozygous one is whatever, looks like a clown mostly, it's fine. Like who cares? It's just a powerful breeder then at that point.
Absolutely. The real reason that I'm as far down the puzzle clown road as I am is because clown has been the vehicle to incorporate all the impactful genes that I want in puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
All the good combos are clown combos.
Mm-hmm.
So I can find a really, really high-end clown male and then breed it to puzzle. And guess what? Those are all het puzzles now. Now I have all those genes that I wanted that I had in clown pulled over to puzzle. They're also double het. So it works out well if it does work out. If it doesn't, hey, they're het puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
They're also het clowns. Swiss Army knives.
Yeah, that's how I feel about tri-stripe. I mean, what are your thoughts on the tri-stripe clown?
That one's tough. That one there's just on its own, not that great. I have one. It's like, yeah, it's okay. Looks like a leopard clown with some stripes down the side of it. But that's one where, again, I think as a market, we always see a base and we're like, no, discard it right away. I mean, time and time again, people discarded red stripe and spot nose and chocolate, and like it goes on and on and on and on. And then it takes that one other gene to just, holy shit, that actually does something. So does a spot nose puzzle clown a spot nose tri-stripe clown change drastically from a spot nose clown? I don't know that answer yet. So I'm going to make the hats and I'm going to figure it out. Because I don't want to wait for other people to figure it out. Because if it does do something crazy, yeah, of course you want to be right there with it.
Right.
But these are big collection problems. If you have a small collection, I probably wouldn't go tri-stripe clown.
Yeah. I just have a lot of genes in clown stuff already. So instead of making more clowns that are 30 cents or whatever, I might as well just make them het tri-stripe by breeding. You know what I mean? Like I might as well. And then if I hit it on the back end, whatever.
I get more money for het tri-stripes than I do for 4 gene clowns at this
point. That's absolutely right. It's better than
have the tri-stripes, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Spicy new item.
Yeah,
Sunset
A tier.
Puzzle. A tier. I was impressed that it fought back this hard.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I like it. And I think very easily could step into S tier.
So are you in, how much sunset do you have, if any?
I have 1 sunset het DG male.
So are you doing this or are you just letting other people?
I'll plug it up. I'll end up skipping that and going to the DG, hopefully the DG hypo sunset puzzle. But it's going to take a while. So I'm essentially right now, I'm not in the project.
It is cool. I was happy. It could have been worse. Let's put it that way. But it wasn't. It was fine. Of course it could have been worse. All right. Let's get spicy. Puzzle tri-stripe.
Don't know. I might know this year.
How many pairs do you have, hypothetically?
I think I got 5 girls.
Oh, that's a lot. You could do it.
Yeah, I just need them to lay eggs and hit odds. That's
Do you think it'll be more puzzle? I feel like it's going to be more puzzle.
Don't know. They both do some really funky stuff along the side. So I don't know. I have a funny feeling it's going to be more tri-stripe.
What? All right.
Yeah, I think tri-stripe's stronger than puzzle is. It's a more dominant gene. It's hard to mis-ID a tri-stripe.
I don't know. I've looked at Morph Market. There's
some
stuff out there.
I think some people are hopeful.
All right, where do you put just like potential feelings? You have 5 clutches, so you have some kind of feeling. B tier?
I think it could be. I think it could be really cool. It's either going to be like, I think that one is either going to be like complete dog shit or like super crazy. Like there's no like in between. I think it's going to be like wild or meh.
Puzzle zebra.
I have hats for these too.
Oh shit.
You know what? This one I think is going to be fucking cool. I think this one's going to be really cool.
You're feeling very optimistic, like A-level optimistic?
I'm going to say it's going to be really neat. A tier.
All right, yeah.
Just my gut feeling. Again, no idea.
Puzzle monsoon.
That one's I have a funny feeling it's going to look like a monsoon with a puzzle head, to be honest.
Yeah, you think puzzle can fight enough to show in the...
I don't think. Clown couldn't. Clown,
right.
You could see the clown, but Clown is a very dominant gene. Like, you have to be blind to misidea clown. And that I could have easily, if somebody said this is a such and such monsoon, I've been like, oh, okay. Yeah, it looks the part. The clown was very, very subtle in that combo. So the puzzle, clown is definitely stronger gene than puzzle is, as far as like how dominant it is. This one, it's up in the air. Put it in a C tier for now. It could end up being just a monsoon pretty well.
And then you haven't talked about it in a long time, but I was just feeling spicy. A puzzle chaos.
I made one. Unfortunately, it didn't make it out of the egg. But B tier.
Do you want to describe it, or did you see it?
Looks like a puzzle, but there's a lot more of the very, very thin. Like, if you've looked at the chaos stuff, it's got very, very thin patterning. Like, it's like really like squiggly and like thin. And it was like a puzzle with a bunch of that added to it.
I think that's cool.
It looks really cool. I wish it survived.
Right. Do you have any more chances anytime soon, or are you working on it, or is it still?
I'm plugging away at it. It's sometimes I'm just like, right now, what I want to do is make more like chaos combos instead of like really pushing towards the puzzle chaos. Just because it's something I haven't like really, really developed yet. I want to see like Spot Nose and Orange Dreams and OD Spot Nose and just continuously like layer stuff onto the chaos, and then I can go back into puzzle very quickly. So,
Vision Quest, we did Confusion Puzzle. Hold on, let me figure out where it landed.
I think I put it in a C tier for that specific animal. The Confusion Puzzle as a general rule, like potential wise, A or potentially S tier.
Yeah, you put that one in C.
Yeah. I mean, on its own, it's just not that crazy to me.
It's pretty cool, though. I don't know. They're all
cool. I mean, these are cool.
What's your favorite, like, 2-gene combo right now for puzzle?
Favorite 2-gene?
Yeah, we're just like, damn, that just knocks my socks off. Or like a couple of your favorites.
Well, I mean, obviously the Desert Ghost puzzle stuff I love. That OD Yellow Belly hypo puzzle I was blown away with. That thing's incredible, which I'm really happy about because I've got a bunch of them coming. What else in puzzle? I mean, the Spot Nose, pretty much Spot Nose anything puzzle I've been pretty impressed with. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of puzzle stuff. Some of the Mojave puzzle stuff I've been like blown away with. I think Anthony Soto made a pastel yellow belly red stripe puzzle, and it was really nice. I mean, it goes on, right? It's and it changes every day. Like, one day I'm like, oh, I'm really digging the Spot Nose puzzle stuff, and then somebody hits a crazy leopard puzzle combo. I'm like, oh fuck, I love that. So it's just how you're feeling at the moment, really. But my big focus with puzzle is pattern mutations into it. Color is easy to add. Color I can incorporate very quickly.
Do you think if someone was getting in now into puzzle, like it used when they were 2,500 or 3,000 for just a single gene male, you could conceivably buy the male and breed it to a bunch of stuff and hold back heads. But now it's like come down a lot. Do you think they should be buying in double males and double het females? Like, how would you structure a puzzle project today?
What's the budget?
I don't know. Just normal human. $10,000.
$10,000, or you can start a pretty wicked project. I would get some double hets. I would start with double hets pretty much of everything. So I would get some double het hypo puzzles. I get some double het DG puzzles. Yeah, I'd probably load up on that type of stuff first. And I'd always get like a puzzle male. You can't go wrong. I guess does this person have a collection prior to? Are they starting a collection from absolutely zero snakes? Do they
probably at this point
that we can breed a puzzle
this
male
hypothetical person, which we'll just pretend it's me, right?
Okay. Sure.
Like, I have snakes, I just don't have puzzle, mostly because I have clown, right? So I have Krypton.
I hear that, yeah.
And then you're like, So I like it, but I'm like, do I need it? I could breed. I could go do tri-stripe and breed it to all my multi-gene clown stuff and just do that again.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing with tri-stripe. Or is that too slow at this point? And I really should be buying in, visual het female babies or double visual female babies in the preparation phase for buying whatever, a triple male or something crazy in 2 years.
I try not to worry too much about the speed of which things happen. I mean, they're animals, right? It's funny because like the projects I'm really like focused on, they seem to take the longest. The ones I kind of like, yeah, I'll just breed them. I hit the odds, everything works out perfectly. I get the perfect sex ratio. So I've really kind of taken a step back from how fast I can make something happen. But I don't know. I would say, yeah, definitely get puzzle. Get some, if you can afford it, buy female hypo puzzles and DG puzzles and monarch puzzles and get them all. But I can't afford to do that, so I have to make them.
It's interesting you said you're not worried about the velocity of the market because it has gotten really fast.
Yeah.
But you're like living in Will Moroz Wonderland, right, in Canada, just doing your own thing, almost like isolated. But if you're like in the market still buying a lot of stuff, your sort of timing becomes important. Like let me just give you an example. I bought a snake last year for $3,000. The same snake sold this year for $800 from the same clutch, which is fine. Ball pythons go down in price, not crying. But if I had but it was the same animals from the same clutch, just bigger. So like people are like sensitive to like mistiming
I don't
their
know
purchases.
That's so like a sibling to your animal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Same gender, same morph. It's fine. Like I'm not even that mad about it because that's just how it goes. I wanted a breeder, so I'm just gonna keep her and I'm gonna breed her. But like there's like a timing question of like, like if I wanted to get out of DG Pied, which I kind of do because I hate Pied.
Yeah,
I should have sold them in March, right? Not when I decided to. But like timing is always hard. But like people need like assurances that, and I think they get it. Like if they just go to breed, almost no matter what, even no matter how much you paid, it was the perfect animal at the time and you bought it and it works and you make babies and you sell them, right?
I say quite often, quit looking at return within a year. Quit looking at return within 2 years. Look at your return within 5 years. 3,000 versus 8,000, that's one extra hatchling. Right. It's going to make no difference in the long run. I paid $25,000 for a DG Hypoclown. You can get one now for probably 13. That's a much, much bigger drop. Percentage-wise, yours is bigger, but
absolutely.
But dollar-wise, I feel that one more. However, I honestly don't even care. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not worried about the babies from the DG Hypoclown. That's not my concern. My concern is what do the babies, once I hatch those babies, what do his grandkids go for? That's where my head's at. I'm looking 5 years ahead with everything I buy. So I don't buy a snake and I'm like, I spent $5,000. I have to make my $5,000 back in one clutch. That's just like, can it happen? Absolutely. You can make 3 times that money on one animal. And generally it will happen. But the real return, like the real true skyrocket potential is on the babies that you've hatched. And this is part of the reason why this market right now, everyone's in this panic mode. Well, 85% of them bought all their shit during the middle of COVID. I mean, I understand why you're a little panicked because stuff's come down. I'd be pretty panicked too if I bought a boat in the middle of COVID. Couldn't sell it either,
Or a plant store or whatever.
Or anything. Really.
Yeah. Like,
I just think everybody should just sort of relax, just sort of take a step back and realize that 5 years from now, when the snakes that you bought have produced babies, you've grown those babies up, you started to breed those babies back together, and you're actually starting to forge your own direction with your collection rather than just buying stuff and slapping it together and being like, I'm rich. Like, no, you're not. You really have to take the time and really start to build your own path. And that takes most people don't want to hear it, but that takes, close to 10 years sometimes.
Should people be like expecting 10 years to whatever, being someone?
I think some guys come in and they're going full time within 18 months. That's ridiculous. I'm like, that's crazy. Because, I was 10 years before I even considered going full time. Before I even I didn't want, when I started this, I mean, it started as a hobby. Like, it started as like a fun, like I just wanted a couple snakes and I wanted to breed them together. And these are really cool. And I can sell the babies for a little bit. And, I can keep some back. And it grew into this monster that it is today. But it for at least 10 years, I didn't touch a single dime that the snakes made me. Nothing. I didn't take money and buy new shoes or go, on a vacation with snake money. No, I worked full time, and that was my money that I used for bills and going on vacations and doing anything else. The snakes, I put every single dime I made back into more stuff for the animals. So improving my genetics, improving the infrastructure, all that sort of thing. And it really started to snowball once the babies I produced, or once you got like Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. Now it's like, they haven't really cost me anything.
Right.
Like, it cost me a rat a week. The DG puzzle, I made the hex, grew them up, bred them together, missed, bred them together again, hit it, grew her up. Like, I'm 7 years removed from making my double heads. So for me, my only cost associated really with making her was the price of a puzzle and the price of a desert ghost. So like, I was $2,500 for a puzzle, probably like $1,400 for a desert ghost. That was my total.
Right. So the initial purchase price doesn't matter when it's amortized over a decade.
Exactly.
Right.
Amortized over, 7-10 years. I mean, and let's be serious. If we say we're going to spend $10,000, if we're looking at investments and I'm going to invest $10,000, not that many investments are going to give you your $10,000 plus another $10,000 within 2 years. Like, very few.
Right.
That's crazy good investment if you can do that. Even over 5 years, if you can double your money, that's an insane investment. So, I think we just have a lot of people have just unrealistic expectations with them.
I mean, is it real quick before we move on? This conversation is interesting though, but Reptilia asked if you liked the G-stripe puzzle.
Has there been a G-stripe puzzle?
I think Bod's hit it.
Thought was, we're not 100% sure. I think he's going to breed it and we'll figure it out, or maybe test it. I think that one has spider in it, so that maybe like affect. I'd like to see like the straight G-stripe puzzle.
Okay, before you make your decision, like the tri-stripe G-stripe is kind of whatever.
I mean,
also,
kind of what you expect, right? Two striped animals, you're going to make a striped animal. I suspect that the G-stripe is going to always win with puzzle. It's just a super dominant gene, like a lot like clown, even stronger than clown, actually.
Do you think that? I mean, I watched your debate with Justin where you were talking about testing and how it's going to happen anyway. It doesn't matter, and you're worried about the velocity.
It speeds things up at a rate that we're not prepared for.
Do you think your concerns were borne out, or do you think you have different concerns now, or are you happy?
I wish I could push a button and it's gone. I would 100% push that button. Nobody could use it. However, as a business, I have to use it based on if I want to remain competitive, I have to be shed tested. There's just no question.
Right.
I don't like it. I wish we weren't doing it. I like proving stuff out the old-fashioned way. That maintained value, because what we have done, whether people want to admit it or not, but what we have done have turned all recessive genes into an incomplete dominant hidden behind a $50 paywall. That's essentially what we've done.
Right. And it's devalued animals that people are just I know the ROI of testing it is not there, so I'm just not going to test it. But it's like a perk, but then it makes them worth nothing, basically.
Yeah, I can now, I mean, probably shouldn't even be telling people this, but I now buy quad het males. Fuck it, why wouldn't I? I bought 2 DG Axanthic Monsoon Clown, quad het males. Well, guess what? I can start running those back into my DG clowns. And I know that there's a monsoon test coming, and we know there's an Axanthic test. And now I can run it to 6 DG clown females, and the chances of me making a DG clown het Axanthic or het monsoon, or even better, double het, I can pick those out. That distinction right there, being able to pick those out, has advanced. I hit one of those animals. That has advanced at least 6 years before I could have made that animal truly a DG clown double het Axanthic monsoon. I couldn't make that animal for a long, long time. But now I can make it right now.
And you'll know that you made it.
And I can make it, I'll know before it's had its first meal.
Yeah. And a lot of people talk, like, there are like cheaper combos where it's not worth it financially to do that with a quad male. But obviously with some specific recessives.
Even some of the heads, man. There was 2 snakes posted on Morph Market recently. And there was an Orange Dream Yellow Belly hypo puzzle. And there was an Orange Dream Yellow Belly hypo het puzzle. There was a 10x difference in price. The OD Yellow Belly hypo het puzzle was $850. The double visual was $8,500. The OD Yellow Belly hypo het puzzle with a puzzle test is 50% as effective as the double visual at 1/10 of the price.
Right. Like, this has been a problem since I've been in it. Like, the hets aren't valued to the right amount relative to the usefulness of the homozygous form. So
it should be now, because now I can test.
Right,
before that was the case, because an OD Yellow Belly hypo het puzzle, well, I couldn't breed that into a multi-gene combo, just normal snake. I couldn't breed that into a multi-gene combo desert ghost and pick out my triple hets. But I can now.
Yeah.
And that makes things just like snowball out of control, because all the big collections are going to, like, the reality of the situation is the bigger the collection, the more odds you have to do clutches like these. And I can take the risk to breed 40 females this way and know that, I'm going to test every single snake that comes out of those clutches, but I will be able to pick out the animals that I'm really after. And that, I think, creates a bit of a disparity in the market, and you're going to see big collections just become untouchable. Like, the rate of advancement within a large collection is going to be astronomical. A lot of people don't want to, they think that, well, it's the same timeline. Well, yeah, you still have to grow the animals and breed the animals and everything, but I'm picking out which animals are going to which. I can give you plenty of examples. I had a, oh shit, man, I can give you several examples. I hatched a clown pine, 66% het desert ghost. That animal, had it been a male, I probably wouldn't have bred it to my best DG clowns. Probably wouldn't have put it into my best DG clown. I probably would have done a test pairing with it, see if it's het clown. Okay, that test pairing. Oh, wow, it did prove het clown, but that test pairing cost me a year. That slowed things down. Now the next year, I know it's het clown. Oh my God, great. Now I can start to use it. Now I can, before it's even had its second meal, I can shed test that thing, say, yeah, that's a clown pied het desert ghost. And I've made it without having to have the actual animals normally required to make it. I don't need them. I don't need visual clowns. They're helpful.
Right.
If you say to me, here's the best visual clown on the market, but here's the het version with a couple extra genes, I'll take that het over the visual. Because I have the clown females, I can make the hets, but the real value in that is I can take that het clown and I can start running it into DG combos. And I just, for $50, I test the whole like, what, it costs me $300 to test the clutch? Okay, sure. Test the entire clutch. Which one of these animals are double het DG clown? And it goes way further than this. This is very, very basic. We start to get into triples, quads, pentas. This is where it's going to, it just becomes, the rate of advancement is going to.
Right. Like, I was hoping it would raise the price of a male triple het or whatever. But it feels like in this market, it hasn't. They're even cheaper. They're 30 cents. every normal on a show table is a triple het for something.
Yeah.
So then like
hets are going to act just like incomplete dominance, right? They're going to act the same way. There are clutches where I smash it and I hit 8 out of 8 or spot nose, right? That happens. And that's going to happen with hets too. There's going to be instances where you get none, right? That definitely happens as well. But I'm working with hets like very heavily right now. I can now take I'm breeding an orange dream yellow belly hypo, orange dream yellow belly NG hypo, 100% het puzzle. I'm gonna breed it to a chocolate DG hypo. Now I just test for the het puzzles. Now I have crazy hypo puzzles that are double het DG puzzle. Like I couldn't do that normally. So that level of jump is it's crazy.
The velocity of morph fall will be faster.
Oh yeah.
No, they're more difficult to hit because they're triples or quads or whatever. But like
not really,
they're easier.
Once you have the base, they're just as easy to hit as anything else.
Right. So like
you're going to be able to pick the right animals and put the right animals together.
Like I know people who do not send their tests into shed testing people because they do not want their species morphs to be identified for this reason.
For this exact reason, because
other species, not ball python people.
It will accelerate the level of. It will accelerate. I go quad het to quad het, right? Let's use an example. I'm breeding them this year. Quad het, the DG is anthic clown pied. Quad het DG is anthic clown pied. Well, in that clutch, let's say you hit let's say you hit a DG clown, right? Well, I can take that DG clown, I can test it. Normally, that DG clown is 66% het pied, 66 het is anthic. That could take me a while to figure out if it's a double het. Normally. Now, I know like this. Oh, that's a DG clown double het is anthic pied. Okay. He goes into the whole back rack. He gets fed aggressively. He gets grown quickly. He's right back into the breeding rotation, and I know exactly what to put him to within 12 months.
Daniel Oliver, thank you for the super chat. And then Will Leviathan asks a question that I'll read to you. Do you think testing gives small breeders a better chance to make better snakes with less undesirable byproduct, i.e. people not breeding pos hets and making a whole clutch of babies when the parents never had the genes they wanted to begin with? Yeah, is the like ethical considerations enough to justify the like velocity increase? If animals are not born that don't have are only wholesale material, basically, is that justify the speed?
So I'm trying to wrap my head around the question. So basically you're asking, hang on, let me just read that. Well, do you think smaller breeders have a better chance to make better snakes with less undesirable byproduct? Yeah, for sure it does. It definitely does. Although you're going to have almost just as much, right? Because I guess it depends how you use shed testing. If you want to buy a het and then run it into your combination females to try and, let's say you're just trying to take a het clown and run it over to, a hurricane. This is very, very basic. You're running a het clown to a hurricane to make a hurricane het clown. Well, half of them are still undesirable, right? So you still will have undesirable snakes. But yes, as a general rule, people not breeding pos hets anymore, it's het or not, right? However, what ends up happening is the stuff that's not het becomes valueless.
Right. Did we save more? Like, did we retain more value in the hobby by having them sell at some sort of 66% het premium, even if it's not that much higher than, a norm or whatever the base morph price was? Or did we save more money not feeding it and wholesaling it early? Like is it a wash? Like,
I think it ends up being pretty much a wash.
Right.
You can now we can pick which ones are het and which ones are not right out of the gate, and I don't have to, because it's disappointing when something doesn't prove. But that's that spark, man. I love that shit. That
was the magic.
That was the fun. Now it just feels like, it kind of feels commercialized and like, just test them and okay, I get it for efficiency purposes. Absolutely, it makes sense. But I loved oh, that's 66% het. And one of the other things that I think it does is it kind of cuts out some of the market that didn't have the budget to buy the hets, but would take the shot on the pos hets. I used to do that all the time when I was starting out. I was in college. I was like, I can't be buying fucking het clowns and all these comments, but 66% het? Yeah, sure, I'll take that shot. For almost the same price as the base morph. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And when they proved out, man, that was fun. Now it's like, I know it's going to, don't get me wrong. It's obviously still fun. You know that you're going to make some really cool stuff. But I don't know. I have this kind of like love-hate with shed testing. I wish I could do it. No one else could, though. Yeah,
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, but as a general rule, I wish nobody could do it. The other interesting thing I've kind of thought about with shed testing is because essentially what we've done is turned every single recessive into an incomplete dominant. Why don't people start working with more incomplete dominants?
Or why don't they value the homozygous form?
Right.
If it's viable of an incomplete dominant the same.
And at the time, I think the reason the recessives held such value and was the real value hold in the market was because it took a long time to do it. You had to get to that super form. But in your quest to make those supers, you couldn't pick out the incompletes. So let's say you're using clown, you're reading het clown to het clown, you hit one clown in the clutch. There could be six other het clowns in that clutch. You just couldn't see them.
Right.
But when you were doing orange dream to orange dream, you hit one super orange dream in the clutch, but you also hit 4 orange dreams, but I could pick them out. Well, now I can pick out the het clowns. So what's the difference? But they're just homozygous versions of clown or homozygous versions of orange dream. So does this shed testing even the playing field with all your incomplete dominants? When we look at recessive genes, how many do we really have to work with? What, 15 if we're like really generous, if we're including like different lines of axanthic and different lines of hypo? You got like puzzle, G-stripe, clown, lavenders, all the albino complex you can lump together. Your T positives you can lump together. Your axanthics, a lot of the hypos you can lump together. So really we're working with like, let's call it 15 different recessives that are we can combo together. But if we take a step back and look at all the incomplete dominants that we can put together, oh man, there's 50 or 60 really impactful, good incomplete dominant genes. So why aren't we treating white lace super orange dream like your new DG clown? Then you add spot nose. That's your spot nose DG clown. And I think there is a massive potential for someone to go that direction, break away from the norm of the market. Instead of stacking triples and stacking quads, someone can go off and go like, I'm going to run super forms of these things. And there's
you would have to like convince people though, because right now it's like a framework. It's like a tree of a recessive and they hang incomplete dominance on it and they barely care about that part. But obviously it's always been that way. Like there was a super chocolate DG Cryptic on Morph Market for not very much money. And I was like, that's a triple homozygous animal. It deserves not its price. But I think he sold it eventually, but it wasn't like it was flying off the shelves. But
you're going to have to convince people why the recessives have any value at all either.
Right at this point, since they're all $50. Well, like a single G pie.
The hats become, pretty soon having the het clown on top of there is going to add no value.
It doesn't add value now.
Pretty much. Pretty much. It's going to add no value.
For like low end stuff, like I just erase all of them at a show. And het DG doesn't add that much value either. If it's
really depends. If it's a Enchi fire male, it adds zero value at all.
Right. But I just mean like there used to be a price premium to het DG a little bit. Like you could get like I sell at trash shows, so I'm on like the front lines. Okay, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. It doesn't really matter, and a baby breeder might be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," but they also don't really care. A lot of times, it still comes back to the aesthetics anyway.
But I think aesthetically, the double supers of the incomplete dominants are going to smoke the recessives.
Is it a problem in this future hypothetical zeitgeist that most of the cool genes are allelic, so you couldn't Like you can't have, like we only have so many combos with like the spider complex. To hypothetically, we have a lot, but we don't have that many. Do you think certain like ones will like rise up as better?
I mean, sure. You got your Cypress, your spot nose, your Wookiee spot nose, chocolate spot nose. Like those are obviously like at the end of the day, the allelic reaction still has to be a good one, just because it's allelic. But I can give you a ton of examples where I can in my head build a just simple incomplete dominant combos that will rival the best of the clowns. That would rival the best of the DG puzzles, and
probably look better than.
That's what I'm getting at.
Especially the pieds. Sorry, pied people. Bless all your hearts.
I mean, I just, we can start to get into the white lace, like a white lace super hurricane Cypress spot nose. Like that could be fucking nuts. And right now, if somebody made that, they'd be like, well, maybe $3,000. But that's crazy because I would give you way more money for that.
Will everybody if you have one in your pocket.
I need way more money for that than I would for pretty much any double recessive. Or I'd pay more money for that than I would for a Cypress spot nose DG clown today. Which is crazy because most people would say the DG clown's the better animal.
Right.
But better for what? You can treat them the exact same way. They are just double homozygous combinations with Cypress and spot nose on top.
Listen, Will, I'm on your side. Like I'm on team homozygosity is important and stronger, right? The problem is there's like 20 years of like legacy thinking of what Inkwiline's talking about. Like the backbone is the recessive, the fluff, the meat is the incomplete dominance, and they almost don't matter. They're just like flavor text on your Magic the Gathering card.
I agree that there's 20 years of kind of legacy thinking there, but thinking the other way is likely when you see the entire market heading in one direction,
run away.
Go that way. Because that's where the next group of stuff is. Because you're going to be in the exact same group with all these people fighting for the exact same projects, racing to the bottom of them. That's really what we do. We make a new project and people go like, holy shit, this is a crazy project. Everybody buys in and you see the price go poof, right to the ground. It's just a natural cycle of ball python. So when I see everybody running that way, I'm always like, I still like kind of walk that way, but my focus starts to shift over here. I want to do different stuff. I really want to like find reactions that we haven't seen. That's the excitement to me. That's like where I get like, man, this is the fun part. When you hatch a new recessive combination, that's fun. Don't get me wrong. I find hatching new clowns to be like clown is one that's really tough for me to get excited with simply because we've seen so much of it. So for me, a new clown is very difficult to do still.
Yeah, the shine wears off. Like they're still cool.
Oh, for sure.
But like,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, what do you think about? So like you have to promote the project sometimes to get people to buy into it to begin with. But then if too many people buy in, it goes down too fast. So what is the right balance of like promotion versus not promotion? Because if you don't ever talk about why puzzle's cool like this,
then nobody cares.
Nobody cares. But if everyone thinks it's cool, then there's too many people in it and it'll turn into clown.
So part of it comes down to just the way that the animal looks. I didn't really promote the DG puzzle. I hatched it. I was happy to have hatched it. I showed it off and I got flooded with how much do you want for it, this, that. And I was like, whoa.
So you were like hitting them with sticks. Get out of here.
Yeah, like, no. I made this for me. Like, I want to keep it. That project, I don't think many people at the time recognized that was an avenue that could be cool and headed down that road. There was very few people doing it. So when the first ones come available, the guys who are in the beginning of it and who have developed to that point get the biggest reward. And the same thing will come with the incomplete dominant stuff. you could start to go into this like road of incomplete dominance. We used to do that in the past, but the problem was in the past, we used to just mash as many incomplete dominance together as we could. And that's the wrong approach. I think the right approach is to take incomplete dominance have good reactions and pair them up with other incomplete dominance have good reactions. We don't need to go lesser, hidden gene woma, spider, pinstripe, like just
right stuff we saw 20 years ago.
That's what we used to do. And they ended up looking patternless at some point.
Right. Like you saw the Goldeneye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. That's a great
cool.
thing. And it'll be great in hypo also, by the way.
For sure.
And DG hypo. But like I've tried to sell, really cool aesthetic combos, and they could even still be head DG or clown or whatever. And they still go for $1 because it's not a double, triple visual because we over convinced people that the only thing that mattered was like buying a DG clown now, like of any, you know what I mean?
That's just the market. There's, it's funny. Don't try and buy into the market. Try and I've always said, don't chase the money, chase a project, because that's the money will follow. If you're chasing if you have a vision in your head, you're like, I think this is going to be like really, really incredible and really like kind of defining combination for these two genes together could be really, really incredible. Chase that. Don't chase the like, I'm going to get into this project because they're $10,000. Because at that point, you're buying what I made.
Right. You're buying too late anyway.
And then changing directions.
Right. Everybody who's going after VPI, Xanthic, Desert Ghost, it feels like this is the new DG.
Yeah.
No offense, everybody. I love them. They're beautiful. But I'm just saying it feels like the same thing. Like everyone's like, oh, yeah, I just need it right now. And I'm like, I don't know what we're doing again. All right. Leviathan asked how long do you think it would take? Is this like an education question? Or
how long do you think it would take the market to shift towards what you're discussing, and what would need to happen for the market to shift? I think you're going to see that happen over the next probably 5 years, would be my guess. As people start to feel more and more discouraged with their recessive projects, because let's be serious, I can test everything, and it's going to the recessive stuff is going to drop like incomplete dominance. It's because that's what they are. Recessive genes are now incomplete dominance hidden behind a $50 paywall. That's really what they are. So I think you will start to see people shift and get frustrated with the market. The entire industry, like realistically, the entire industry is chasing the same 4 projects. Why can't we be different? Like that, I get it. Those 4 projects are fucking awesome and they're super cool and they look great. But there are so many freaking combos out there. I did a thing years ago where I took how many genes we had on Morph Market and listed how many double combos we could make, triple combos, quad combos, penta combos, how many combos we could make. And there was like, there's been like another 50 genes added to Morph Market since then. But it was something like 600 something billion different combos that you could actually make. Now,
how many of those are white?
Million of those are white.
And how many are black?
Yeah. But there are a ton of amazing combos out there that we haven't touched. And they don't all have to revolve around Puzzle Clown, DG Hypo, Xanthic. Like they don't have to revolve around those. Those could be like you could sprinkle some of that in to make those combos look a little different, to shift their look. But I've hatched, like I can give you just off the top of my head, one of the animals that comes to mind. I made a Wookiee leopard cypress. She's absolutely beautiful snake, super, super dark, like really, really good pattern to it, but like really good blacks on there. She happens to be het clown. That combo is going to look 1,000 times better, not visual clown. I guarantee this. I just guarantee it. Like I'm not even, somebody make a Wookiee cypress leopard clown and put it side by side with a Wookiee cypress leopard. And
so do you think people should like spend the next couple of years just looking at their collection and starting to like retrain their eye.
I
It's been
think
like,
so.
what is the combo that these genes and this animal best begets, not what is the most optimized to make whatever right away, because probably that's going to be a better direction to start going down right this second.
I think so. I think shifting from the market norm is not a bad thing at all.
Okay, good.
It's one of the reasons why I really like Puzzle and Tri-Stripe and Zebra, and like those are projects that people kind of like, discard to the side in favor of your Clown and Pieds, which I understand in the past. But because of, if you look on Morph Market right now, there's like 40-something thousand snakes for sale on Morph Market. Filter that by Het Pied, Het Clown. There's like 20,000 snakes on
That's a lot. It's a large percent.
Half of the market. And the other half is probably like Pos Het Clowns and Pos Het Pieds.
Absolutely.
So I just think that there's so much potential to change directions. What have made the most successful guys in this industry the most successful? What is the variable that's made them the most successful? They've gone off on their own. They didn't follow shit. They went and built shit. That's, right. You got to go out there and you got to develop a project. And trust me, I understand more than most that I put some dumb shit together. Well, at the time, I don't think it's that dumb. Looking back, there's some dumb shit to be put together. But it's the curiosity that gets me. Puzzle Clown. Everybody says it's not going to work. That makes me want to try it even more. That makes me like, okay, like I'll find something that'll make it click. And maybe I don't. That's fine. But I have fun along the way. There's frustration along the way. For sure. And would I be more profitable if I were to go like, instead of going Puzzle Clown, I'm going to do Clown Pieds? Probably. But,
I don't know. Clown Pieds are going to hit 3.
Well, it's hard to think of another example. But let's say Xanthic Clown or Hypo Clown or whatever. Would I be more profitable and would I appeal to a larger audience? For sure. Yeah.
The hard part is like if you go your own path and you don't like promote your project, you could make animals no one wants because like they don't see it, because if the animal isn't like representative of the vision yet, if it's like an intermediate step or something,
But that's the case with everything.
Right. So like
I made double head.
You would have to believe that hard in the project.
Actually, in 2016, I think it was, posted a 1.1 pair from my original double head DG puzzles, the original group, a 1.1 pair. Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them. 3 years later, I made the DG puzzle. Everybody wanted them. So
you have to believe in yourself as well. Everybody
trying to convince somebody else, right. And I think that's really what it comes down to.
Well, that's hype. All right. Patricia asked the question that I think I know the answer to, but I actually don't know anything. What do you think about Zebra versus McKinsey?
I don't think they're the same thing personally, but I don't have any. That's just based on combos that I've seen. I don't know.
What about Twister?
What's Twister?
Another like reducer bandy type thing.
I can't keep up with them.
Okay. It doesn't really matter.
Zebra's the one that I caught my eye, and the Zebra's the one that we're going to work with. So I'm just going to work with Zebra. If it ends up being McKenzie, awesome. Then Super McKenzie should come up. Or Zebras will come down. But either way, they're going to make cool snakes.
Right. If you have like a 10-year perspective, it literally doesn't matter. As long as you like the aesthetic that was there to begin with. Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up. Like I actually do a stock report. So obviously I'm watching the prices maybe more than normal people.
Sure.
But I also breed corn snakes and they cost 30 cents. So like the value of the animal doesn't really matter to me. It's more like watching what the market feels, like the sentiment, or because sometimes people are like I am always surprised by auctions because some things will pop off in a way that you're like, damn, somebody loves that snake. Like they don't care that it's not het for anything. They're just really vibing with the aesthetic at that moment. And so I wish we could go back to something like that. But
I tried to shop with that in mind a lot of the time. I mean, obviously buying some of these big projects, we know the aesthetic is going to be sky high, great potential. You know, we start talking about hypo puzzles, DG hypo clowns, DG xanthic clowns, DG clown pies. These have a massive, massive aesthetic potential as well. But they're not the only ones out there with that kind of potential. So it's this like, you know, I think hypoxanthic as a general rule gets really overlooked.
Oh god, True Ghost is awesome.
I don't want to say nothing because I'm going to scoop a bunch of them. So keep overlooking them. But my brain still, this way we've trained our head to look at, I still go to recessive projects, which I don't know why I do. Because I can think of a bunch of cool combos that have nothing to do with recessives that I think would be much more fun to open the bin than a DG clown.
Right.
You know, at the time when I made DG clowns, I was super happy to be opening that bin. But
they're beautiful.
You know, they're gorgeous. I mean, at the end of the day, I love hatching them. But are there other combos that I think are, if you took 20 people off the street, have no idea anything about snakes, and you show them DG clown, hypo clown, and a white lace super orange dream, which one do you think they're probably going to pick?
We call that the grandma test around here. We're like, and Kathy Love, she's a corn snake person, but she calls it like the hat band test, like the projects that she would recommend people get into, the ones that are almost the most universal appeal. But then like you have to couch that in like some sort of, it has to also be interesting to a breeder. So it can't be just aesthetics. It has to also be like some sort of intellectual interest. And I think that's like I hope we move forward there. I don't know. I do have to have a lot of bins with a lot of normal looking snakes that are double, triple het, and it's so boring.
The triples and quads, you end up with a lot of normals. But
so boring.
I think I'm really convinced that there's a massive potential for some people to shift towards the homozygous forms of incomplete dominance that we have currently available.
All right, last question. Do you know how, you might not know this, but I'll tell you. I mean, your dad's a vet, so he might know. Holstein Friesian cows, like they will AI and use embryo insertion to make like super bulls that are homozygous for dozens of preferred alleles for, you know, maximum milk production. And then once they have that bull, they can sell them for a couple $100,000 because he can AI pure Holstein cows and make like really good breeding stock. Do you think with genetic testing, we're going to make super white snakes that they're homozygous for many loci, for many mutant alleles, so they make maximum pet fodder? Like not just like a super banana, but we're going to do it at every allele we know we have color and pattern changes at, just to like overdo it.
That becomes very difficult to create, though.
Mathematically,
the odds on those become astronomical until we get it.
But we would know what was in it with genetic testing, and so we would.
Yeah, but you still have to hit the odds to hit it.
Correct.
Those are still astronomical to hit. However, I don't know. I mean, you asked me 10 years ago if we'd be shed testing animals and milk picking at heads, I'd be like, you're crazy. So where are we in 10 years? I mean, with CRISPR technology, I worry that that's the next step.
To me, like, it's too expensive.
CRISPR?
You know,
CRISPR's fairly cheap.
Well, but the whole like GMO animal from inception to embryo insertion and maturation, it takes a long time. It's usually like a couple $100,000, right? I guess it's not that expensive, all things considered. And then like you would trademark it, and glowfish do not have a you know, the lysine contingency type thing like Jurassic Park does, right? But it is illegal to sell your glowfish if they breed. So it's a trademark infringement, so they can, you know, sue you technically. So if someone ever put $200,000 in a snake to make it blue, they would trademark it and just make it illegal to breed it, so they could sell it in perpetuity for whatever they set the price at. So I don't think if it does happen, it will never affect the breeding hobby, because they would just sue you.
I don't know. I mean, they could, I guess, what shade of blue? You know, this is the you know, they're, I don't know.
You remember, you can imagine Monsanto rolling up and being like,
for sure.
Yeah, I open up because, like, you know, you were illegally breeding your blue snakes, but they could do like a germline termination insertion too. If they don't decide to do that, they would just trademark it. I'm like not worried about that part at all. They will do that eventually. It just won't matter. There will be no incentive to, like, they won't let you have an incentive to breed it for commercial purposes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to be trying new stuff. That's kind of my biggest piece of advice to anybody feeling it in this market right now is quit trying to compete with the guys who are already established with those specific projects. If you really enjoy those projects, have fun working with them. But the reality is that I think there's way more potential for you to develop your own project.
Right.
And really show people why they should care about it. When you're truly excited about something, that shit's contagious. That if I go up to someone's table and they start telling me how excited they are about this project, showing me pictures on their phone, look at these ones at home, like they're hyped about it. They really are. And I believe the hype. I get hyped about it. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on this excitement. Like, I want to be in on this. That's how this industry kind of works. And
yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are looking at their tables now and be like, damn, liabilities, right? We got to get back to being like excited about what's on the table.
Excited about this shit again. You know, I think that whole follow your own road. Not many people really are taking that advice.
No. Well, it's very complicated technically, like as a hobby to get into now, to like get nuance. Because I'll meet somebody who's like a year in, and they're like, I was following blankety blank on YouTube, and I'm like, damn, here's some research you might want to also listen to, like for other opinions on how to build a collection. And then you feel bad because you just shit on them, right? But they were excited about it, so it's very hard to control how much of a bitch you are in person. Let me just put it that way. This is a me problem, maybe not a you problem. Oh man. Lisa, last question. Wouldn't a trademark blue BP eat up the pet market? Yeah, but glowfish did not replace fish breeding. They were just added to the market as an option, right? You can go to a Petco and still get a selectively bred, like, morph guppy, because that's what guppies are, right? They're wildly bred by breeders in Southeast Asia to be all kinds of cool colors, and some of them are very expensive and like hobbyists only, and then they get more common, they come down to pet price, but you can also buy a glowfish, but you just can't legally sell it if they breed. So that's what would happen to me. All right, thank you, Will. I think this was very fun. Hopefully you had fun.
Yeah.
And I'll post these dumb puzzle tier lists onto Morph Market. And if you have any complaints with Will's assessments, send them to Will. I didn't do it. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
I'm kidding. No, it's just for fun. Because I think people don't even know what to do with puzzle right now. They're just like, I'm going to buy a pastel puzzle. I'm going to buy some het puzzles.
Have
fun together.
Have fun with it. Don't look at it. Not everything has to be an investment. Not everything has to make your money back right away. Just get back to the basics. You know, have fun, make shit that you are excited about. Other people will be excited too. You'll be fine.
That's perfect advice, actually. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, everybody. Oh, and our one little super chat and our new member, final shout out. And thanks to everybody who came today. Bye.
Take care.